Supplementary.
As usual, you have failed to answer the question. Do you endorse or not? No answer out of you. Will the Prime Minister rule out establishing seats in this parliament reserved exclusively for Indigenous Australians if the Voice makes a representation demanding it? Yes or no?
Thank you, Senator Hanson. Minister Wong.
In relation to the second, that's not something the government is proposing, and it's not something that the government took to the last election. We took very clearly to the last election a voice to the parliament.
Senator Hanson.
Thank you very much. My question is to the Minister representing the Prime Minister, Senator Wong. I refer to an article this morning on the front page of the Australian newspaper regarding a member of the referendum working group, Thomas Mayo. Does the Prime Minister endorse Mr Mayo's comment that the power of the Voice to Parliament was its ability to punish elected members of this Parliament that ignored its advice on funding and legislation?
Thank you, Senator Hanson. Minister Wong.
Well, the Prime Minister and the government have made its views and its views clear about why the Voice matters. As I think was discussed in great detail and at great length on Friday evening and Friday night and the early hours of Saturday morning. The Voice is about two things. It's about recognition of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people in our constitution, and it's about listening to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people on matters that affect them. We've been clear about the principles associated with that. It does ensure that the Voice will give independent advice to the Parliament and the government. The Minister representing has gone through the principles, which I can read out again, and I think were read out on many occasions in the committee stage and elsewhere in the debate. I would make the point, Senator Hanson, I understand what your position is. I thought it was very clear this morning. I disagree with it, but...
Minister Wong, please resume your seat. Senator Hanson.
Bring back to the point of relevance to my question is the fact is, does the Prime Minister endorse Mr Mayo's comment that the power of the Voice, its ability to punish elected members of this parliament that ignored its advice? Direct question.
Thank you, Senator Hanson, and the Minister is being direct to your question.
What I was trying to say, Senator Hanson, and I understand the position you have, which is to oppose. I take a different view, as do the senators on this side. But the Prime Minister's position is the position that has been outlined by the government minister responding in the Senate over and over again. We've gone to great detail about how the Voice will operate, the fact that it will not have a veto power and will not have a program delivery function. Others can choose to articulate this how they wish. The government will choose to articulate our view about how the Voice will work, the independence of the advice, that it is chosen by Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people. It will be representative, it will be empowering, community-led, inclusive, respectful and culturally informed. It will be accountable and transparent. It will work alongside existing structures, and it will not have a veto power.
Thank you, Minister. Senator Hanson, first supplementary.
As usual, you have failed to answer the question. Do you endorse or not? No answer out of you. Will the Prime Minister rule out establishing seats in this parliament reserved exclusively for Indigenous Australians if the Voice makes a representation demanding it? Yes or no?
Thank you, Senator Hanson. Minister Wong.
In relation to the second, that's not something the government is proposing, and it's not something that the government took to the last election. We took very clearly to the last election a voice to the parliament. And we are seeking to deliver on that mandate. In relation to your first response, Senator Hanson, I appreciate you don't like my answer, but I am entitled to give I'm entitled, Senator Hanson, to give you the answer that I believe is correct in response to your question.
You ever wake up, flick on Parliament, and realise you've accidentally tuned into the political equivalent of a backyard punch-on at a footy final? That's exactly what this morning felt like. The Senate wasn't just spicy. It was practically smoking, like someone dropped a snag on the grill and forgot to flip it. The moment Pauline Hanson stood up, you could feel a jolt run through the place, the kind of collective "oh here we go" sigh the whole country knows too well. And the best part? It only got wilder from there. Before we dive into this Hanson-Wong showdown, where Albo cops it from the sidelines and Parliament melts down like a busted ski. Hit that like button and sub if you're over the circus. And yeah, the not far right just right shirt's still there, links in the description. Hanson hits her feet with that unmistakable look, eyebrows up, shoulders square, absolutely itching to fire off something that'll make at least half the chamber groan, and the other half choke on their water. She's clutching a front-page article from The Australian like she's discovered buried treasure, waving it around with the confidence of someone who absolutely knows she's about to kick a hornet's nest. And honestly, good for her. At least someone's awake at that hour. Right across from her is Penny Wong, sitting in her usual stoic, glacier-calm posture, representing the Prime Minister despite the fact he isn't even in the Senate because, well, that's not how a government works, but here we are. Wong looks like she's mentally organizing the pantry, trying to get herself ready for whatever incoming meteor is about to hit her. And she barely gets the chance to breathe before Hanson launches the first missile. She starts reading out Thomas Mayo's comments, and mate, the room might as well have frozen solid. Something about punishing MPs who ignore the voice, and you could feel the tension drop like a brick. Even the microphones went quiet. The whole chamber suddenly looked like they'd accidentally wandered into a thriller. Hanson wants to know, loud and clear, whether the Prime Minister endorses the idea. No fluff. No dance. Just a simple yes or no, delivered with the intensity of a bouncer checking IDs on a Saturday night. Wong takes a breath, that long, steady inhale politicians do when they're about to start a marathon explanation, and hope everyone forgets what the question was in the first place. She straightens her papers like she's psyching herself up for a TED talk. Then she launches into one of those long, perfectly polished answers about recognition, listening, committees, advisory roles, community-led frameworks, the kind of answer that sounds smart but doesn't lay a single toe near the actual question being asked. It's classic Wong. She's calm, measured, polite, and extremely determined not to touch the yes or no landmine with a 10-foot pole. She talks about the voice being independent, representative, accountable, respectful, transparent, culturally informed, partnered with existing structures, and absolutely definitely not having veto power. And fair enough, those are the talking points. But Hanson's expression says, mate, I didn't ask for the brochure. Hanson jumps back in like she's been waiting for that tiny breath break. She throws her hand slightly, that classic Pauline move, and snaps back that Wong still hasn't answered her direct question. And she's not wrong. Wong's answer was impressive, lengthy, thorough, and absolutely orbiting everything except the actual thing Hanson asked. Hanson wants one word, yes or no. But in Parliament, a yes or no is rarer than a straight drive on Parramatta Road. Wong tries again. She repeats the government's position, outlines the policy, assures everyone the voice has no veto and won't punish anyone, and calmly explains that the government's view is the government's view. And you can see it, Hanson's patience evaporating like a puddle on a 40-degree Perth afternoon. Then we hit the moment the room really tightens up. Pauline Hanson, now fully wound up, goes in for her supplementary. And this time, she turns the dial straight to extreme. Will the PM rule out Indigenous-only seats in Parliament if the voice recommends it? Boom. The chamber stiffens. You could hear a pin drop, or at least a senator nearly drop their notes. It's a hot-button question, and everyone knows it. Wong, keeping her cool like she's running a meditation app, gently repeats that no, that's not something the government's proposing, not something they took to the election, and not something on the cards. She's firm but respectful, like a teacher explaining the same maths problem for the 12th time. And she slots in a quiet reminder that she's entitled to answer questions the way she believes is correct. Senate speak for, mate, I'm doing my best, give me a break. But Hanson isn't done. Not even close. She's back up again faster than a tradie when someone says the word smoko. And now she's chasing another angle, an independent Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander state. Will the PM rule it out? And suddenly we're not just in spicy territory, we're in full-blown extra hot peri-peri territory. You can practically see the staffers mentally reaching for the fire extinguisher. Wong once again stays impossibly calm, emphasizing that the government isn't proposing any such thing. She references previous late-night debates, the long discussions, the explanations they've already given. And the fatigue in her voice is clear, not annoyed, but that deep, professional tiredness that only comes from hours and hours of trying to answer questions that are worded in ways designed to create a moment, not gather information. Meanwhile, the Senate President keeps jumping in, doing her best to steer the whole circus back to some sense of order. And honestly, Bless her, she's fighting an uphill battle every time those two lock horns. Parliament and decorum mix about as well as beer and milk. The whole thing turns into this political tango, Hanson firing direct questions like bullets, Wong sidestepping each one with calm, technical explanations that never fully land where Hanson wants them to. Two completely different communication styles crashing into each other in real time. Hanson wants bluntness. Wong wants precision. Hanson wants to corner her. Wong wants to stay within safe government phrasing. It's like watching footy versus fencing, same field, completely different rules. And floating above all of it like a confused ghost is the Prime Minister's name, dragged repeatedly into the scene as though he's hiding under one of the desks. Albanese isn't there, isn't answering, isn't even in the chamber, but somehow still ends up being the main character of the moment. That's politics for you. Even when you're not in the room, someone swears you said something. By this point, the rest of the senators look absolutely cooked. Exhausted, uneasy. Some look like they're internally cheering, others like they want to dive into the nearest secure exit tunnel. And the staffers? They've got that "oh please let this end" expression of people who know exactly how many headlines this back and forth is going to generate by lunchtime. And you, sitting at home, watching this chaos unfold, get to see something genuinely rare. A moment so tense, so messy, so rally political that it doesn't need any dramatic music, editing, or clickbait cuts. It's pure, unfiltered Parliament in the wild. No scripts, no rehearsals, no spin doctors whispering in ears. Just two political heavyweights going at it in a clash of ideology, style, and sheer determination. And the thing is, even though the content is serious, the voice, Indigenous representation, constitutional implications, the energy in that room is pure Aussie political theatre. The kind that makes you laugh, shake your head, swear under your breath, and lean in all at once. Because it's not just a debate. It's a showdown. Hanson standing there, refusing to let the government wiggle out of a direct answer. Wong holding her ground, refusing to get boxed into wording that could become tomorrow's scandal. Both of them locked in this relentless back and forth where neither can fully give the other what they want. And somewhere out there, Albanese probably gets a text from someone in his office that simply says, "Mate, you're trending." By the end of it, Wong looks like she's earned herself a nap, a cuppa, and maybe a shoulder massage. Hanson looks like she's ready to go another 10 rounds. The Senate looks like a cyclone ran through it. And the rest of Australia? Sitting there thinking, this is better than reality TV. Because that's the beauty of Parliament. You can't invent moments like this. You can't script it. You can't rehearse it. It's raw, chaotic, funny, maddening, dramatic, and completely real. And whether you love Hanson or can't stand her, whether you praise Wong or roll your eyes every time she speaks, you can't deny one thing. When these two collide, it's absolute fireworks. And that's exactly what we saw today. Two political forces, two completely different worlds, smashing into each other in a morning session that started like any other and spiraled into a full-scale clash about power, responsibility, representation, and the future direction of the country. A clash that shows just how divided, passionate, and unpredictable our politics has become. A clash that, honestly, you couldn't look away from, even if you tried. So smash that like button if you reckon Australia deserves better, and hit subscribe if you're done letting pollies skate by. Keep your eyes open, beers cold, and grab the not far right just right shirt, links in the description.